Hello and welcome to episode 105 of the Pixel Street Podcast. This is a podcast where each and every week some of us fucking nerds get together and talk about video games. As always, I'm one
and
of...
some of us fucking nerds just die like Connor.
Whoa, come on, man. You can't just like...
He's not here. We have to talk shit about him.
Yeah, but you can't say that he's dying.
No, he's straight up dead. He's married and everything. He's just gone.
Just a lost
Sorry,
cause.
guys.
Just a lost cause.
Yeah.
As always,
I don't make the rules.
I am one of your hosts, Joel Campos, and this week I am joined with the man who is going to give us an update on his nacho cheese in his bedroom machine, John Hansen.
It's been really tempting to buy it. I've got it. I've got one saved on my Amazon.
Oh, on Amazon
cart.
now. I remember you were looking on eBay, I think, last time we checked in a few months ago.
Yeah, I was checking prices on eBay, but I have one. It's like $250 on Amazon. Okay. And then shortly after that, you know how everything's listening to you and it like sets your ads around that and everything. I got a Facebook ad showing a Stouffer's macaroni and cheese machine, and I was like, that sounds amazing. So I was looking at that, but they're just in the process of making it. They haven't actually started selling it.
I think
yet.
I saw that on Twitter. But yeah, that sounds amazing. And you know you're going to see that at gas stations all over if it's a success.
Absolutely.
But yeah, a little bit of housekeeping. You can email us, pixelstreetpodcast@gmail.com. I don't think anybody ever has, so probably don't do that. Follow us on Twitter.
Just hit us up on Twitter.
Yeah, at Pixel Street Pod. We just ran a giveaway. It was very successful. For what was it? What was that one for? Just hitting 100 followers, I think.
Yeah, that was. We finally reached 100 followers, and we blew it away. We're like in the 130s now. We've definitely gone up in the last couple weeks. So thank you so much for following us, and let's talk video games and stuff.
Yeah, check out our Facebook as well by searching for Pixel Street Podcast there. This show posts every Friday morning at 8 a.m. Central Time. This week we are going to be talking about a lot of stuff, even though there really is not all that much news, but there's some Nintendo source code leak. In a weird turn of events, we have a new Metal Gear Solid 5 cutscene that was just discovered, I guess, today. And we have Moon Studios signing a publishing deal with Private Division. So we'll talk about all that coming up. But before we get to that, let's talk about the upcoming releases, John.
Yeah. I don't think there's really anything.
Skater XL, John.
Is that a big thing? I don't know.
Well, I mean, so I didn't know anything about it until literally yesterday. So it came out yesterday, and I never even heard of it. And then I saw somebody tweet about it, and I love the skate games by EA, and people are saying that this is similar in terms of like how difficult it is. But I pulled up a stream, and it looks like it's really hard. So like in EA's skate games, you are controlling essentially everything with the right stick. But in this game, if your left foot's forward, or I don't know if it matters, but your left stick is controlling your left foot, and your right stick is controlling your right foot. So it seems like it's way more challenging than any other skating game.
That doesn't sound like it's for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's only $40, so I'm considering picking it up to check it out, but I definitely want to watch more streams before doing so. Gotcha. But yeah, that just came out yesterday, the 28th. I know this past Sunday, Destroy All Humans
also
came out.
Yesterday, Destroy All Humans, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. I reviewed that for GamePer, but like I said, we'll talk about that in a little bit. And Grounded hit a preview on Xbox, Steam, and just like regular Xbox PC.
Didn't Destroy All Humans come out on Sunday? Because it
was yesterday.
That's when I got it. Was on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you're breaking the system.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Destroy All Humans release date.
It was July 28th.
Yeah, but I definitely got it on Sunday.
I know you're breaking the system.
Hold on, I gotta get to the bottom of this. July 26th.
while you're looking that up, Rocket Arena Season 1 apparently started this week.
Oh, boy.
I didn't know that had a season thing.
I saw that it's on sale right now for $5.
It's already down to $5.
And 8 cents, yeah.
Wow, yeah.
So, yeah, it says July 28th.
We pretty much called it right at the beginning that game was going to be dead on arrival.
I don't know. I broke the system, I guess, if I got this game 2 days early. I don't know what happened, but...
You broke the system.
Coming
up here soon... coming up here in the next week, we have Fall Guys, which I haven't seen anything on, but I see a lot of people talking about it. And that is... Go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, I saw a stream of it on Friday because somebody was in the beta on PC, and I was like, man, this looks really cool. I'd love to try it. And then Monday they announced that it's coming to PS Plus the day it launches.
Yeah, so I think that would be a good thing for us all to try and stream, although I haven't, like I said, I haven't looked at it at all. And also, shortly after that, we have the Game of the Year, Fast and Furious Crossroads, releasing.
Hell yeah.
So, get ready to play that masterpiece.
Masterpiece. That's what it's going to be on IGN?
Absolutely.
That's going to be the rating, masterpiece. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's really not much until the fall, I guess.
Yep.
All right. I guess let's talk about what we've been playing.
All right. I'll start off. So, like I said earlier, I reviewed Destroy All Humans, and that review is now up on GamePer. You could also just go to my Twitter, @RevXShadows, and you can find it there. It's my pinned tweet. And so I had never played Destroy All Humans in the past, and this is a remake of the original game. And I always wanted to. Like, I always loved the idea of, like, just playing as an alien, destroying humans, invading Earth and everything. Being a kid that loved Mars Attacks, that really sounded awesome to me. So for my first experience with this, I think it's a really great game, and I really hope that THQ Nordic brings out a new Destroy All Humans game here soon. Yeah, a sequel, like kind of do what Crash Bandicoot's doing, where they ignore the other stuff, but they just kind of like start anew with the sequel.
Was there another?
You know what I mean?
Was there another Destroy All Humans game?
Yeah, there was actually like 2 more.
Oh, okay. Because I remember, like on original Xbox, this is a game I always saw like at the store. I saw people playing it online, like you know, when you could look at your friends list and see people were playing this game. But I never got it because like back then it was like I only got the games that my parents would buy me.
No, that's the same thing with me. I always wanted it, but my parents just never bought it.
Exactly. So I picked it up on Xbox on Sunday, but I haven't played it yet. I just launched it and then decided I'd come back to it. But yeah, I'm excited to try it out.
Real quick, are you sure that you got the remake and not the original?
Oh, I'm positive.
Okay, all right.
Because I technically have both.
All right, gotcha.
Because the original was back in the day.
It was a free game.
Yeah, it was a free game.
Yeah. So yeah, the one thing about it is you can definitely tell it's an original Xbox and PS2 game. Like, it looks beautiful for the most part. There's some things graphically I'm not crazy about, especially the humans. I think their design is bad, but there's probably like 6 or 7 maps in total, and through the campaign of like 19 or so missions, you go back and play the same exact maps over and over again, so it's very limited in that way. It got to the point where I was still having fun with it, but there was this thought in the back of my head for the longest time where I was just like, did we need a remake of this? Like, I think I would have been fine with just a reboot. But that being said, I think it's a very good remake. It's a lot of fun. The score I gave it was 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, and I really hope that enough people buy it that THQ Nordic looks at it and is like, okay, let's keep going with this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for these sort of weird, you know, like, this is a weird game for anybody to remake. You know what I mean? I feel like if this...
Yeah, this was definitely a cult classic.
Yeah, if this never came out, nobody would have been asking for it. So,
right.
I mean, it's pretty cool that it did come, especially in the age of remakes nowadays, like Tony Hawk coming out in a few months.
Yeah, but that game, like, that had a dedicated follower base and everything. This game, when it came out, it was like, oh, that's a really cool idea. That looks like fun. But I don't know sales numbers or anything. But it didn't light the world on fire, I don't think. I mean, it's a THQ game. None of them really lit the world on fire.
True. Yeah, I'm excited to try it out though in the next few days here. Probably this weekend.
It's also a very short game. I think I got through the campaign in like 6-7 hours.
Oh, I love that. I love short games like that. But yeah, I think it's only $40, so definitely worth checking out if you played the original one back in the day.
30 on Steam, but yeah, 40 on console.
That's strange, man.
Yeah.
That is
regardless,
strange.
I recommend it. Play it.
So I've been playing. I tried out Grounded last night, John. I streamed that. It's buggy. I'll say that to start.
I see what you did there.
But yeah, definitely a bunch of bugs. I'm trying to find some gameplay, but
yeah. But how's the performance of the game?
Okay, John. So I actually downloaded it on PC because it's cross-play with Xbox, and it's on Game
play
Pass.
anywhere.
Yeah. So I downloaded it on PC just because, you know, I have this fancy computer. I might as well play games on it while I can. Because like I was playing with friends, so it just made sense to download it here and play. But I mean, I love the gameplay of it. Like in terms of, you know, the survival aspect, the building things. We didn't get too far into like any of the quests that were popping up for us, just because we were all new. We only played for a few hours, but I built a pretty tall base. Like I built a huge, like, out of essentially grass leaves, I guess you would call them. I don't know what an individual piece of grass is called, but
grass blade.
Sure, I forget what it's called in the game, but
okay.
I built like a huge house with it, and the game started lagging so bad for us. Like, so there's definitely those restrictions, but I feel like that comes with any one of these like survival type games where you can build like that. Like I know like Fallout 76 has similar bugs where, you know, if you build a ridiculously huge house or anything, you're gonna experience a bunch of lag once you're around it because there's just a lot going on. But overall, I enjoyed my time with it. I'll definitely play it some more. I did not realize that this was a game preview game. I just thought that the release date was yesterday. But it just, I feel like all these survival games release in game preview, and then like 4 or 5 years later, they're like, hey, 1.0 is out now.
Yeah,
and
yeah, right.
Honestly, I think it's kind of a cop-out, just so that they can get away with all this bugginess. But, I mean, I'm enjoying playing it. I just wish it had achievements.
I mean, it is very much stated out front that this is not the, like, release of the game. Like, this is a work in progress and everything. Hopefully, with it being a Xbox Game Studio game, with Obsidian making it, hopefully it doesn't take as long for them to hit 1.0. But what I've seen of it so far, I played a little bit of a preview event they had last month.
Yeah.
I only played solo, and I only played for like a half hour. But it seemed pretty cool. One thing I want to ask you is, did you have did seeing the giant bugs or anything make you squeamish at all or anything?
No, it did not. I'm not I don't like bugs at all, but I'm not deathly afraid of them. Because I know right when you launch the game, it tells you if you have what is it, arachnophobia, that you can change the settings immediately. But I don't really have any problems with that, so I felt fine the whole time.
I don't mind bugs. I don't want to go around and pick up a spider or anything, but I don't get creeped out by them. But the very little time that I was playing Grounded, just on my own and everything, it was making me uncomfortable, seeing a giant ladybug crawl up to me and everything, and I don't know, it just. I'm getting goosebumps now because
I mean it's definitely weird. It's definitely weird. I'll give it that, but I'm not squeamish about it or anything like that. But it definitely is terrifying when you turn a corner and there's a spider or two right there. because they are a pain in the ass to kill.
I did not get that, so yeah, I'm gonna have to play with you. We'll have to do a stream or something with Connor.
Yeah, for sure.
Do that.
Yeah, it's a fun game. It's on Game Pass, game preview, so definitely worth checking out if you have Game Pass on either Xbox or PC.
It's getting a lot of good talk around it early on.
I think that this game has potential to be almost like the next Minecraft for kids. Like, it's not going to be as big, but I think kids are going to love this game.
Hopefully. How are the mechanics? Like, is it a deep system? Is it complicated at all?
No, not really. It kind of walks you through it. So say you need... Okay. I was playing on PC, though, so it could be, slightly different on Xbox. I don't know. I'm sure it's similar in terms of the controls and stuff. But, like, say you need to build, I don't know, a canteen, all right? But say to build that canteen, you need, some supplies, but you also need to build one other thing. You can just click right into that other thing and then build it if you have the materials to build that. So it's pretty simple. Like, it walks you through a lot of it. Like, it tells you what you need. It doesn't necessarily tell you where to find everything, because I don't know if that's, like, limitations of the map. Sorry, I got a new dog, and she's a puppy, and she's kind of crazy. But she's super excited about Grounded.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just kind of final thoughts on this here. I was really worried about this game being kind of like a bleeding edge for Obsidian. Kind of a game that it didn't really make much sense for them. It's like a weird game for them to make, and then it came out and it was like really disappointing, at least to me, with Bleeding Edge. But from early thoughts on it and everything, it seems like they've got a good start on this, so that's really good to hear.
Yeah, I'm excited to keep playing. I don't know how long I'll stick with it. It's definitely one of those games that I think I'll mainly play when I have a friend or two playing online, because I don't see myself playing this by myself. That being said, like, I don't know how the saving works, because, like, it's not like other games like this, like Ark or Fallout 76 even, where it's like a server. It's just peer-to-peer, so we were playing on my friend Kenny's, his personal world, and so now we all left, and if he's not on, we cannot play in that world.
It's the whole Minecraft thing before they had realms.
Yeah, so another aspect of that is my buddy Tony, he left like multiple times, left the game to do one thing or another, and then one of the times when he came back, he just did not have anything. It was like he was on a brand new character. So I don't know if you leave your buddy's world and then go into your own world and then come back, if that affects that or anything, but it is a pain in the ass. And also, I was playing in first person all night last night, and this gameplay I have up is in third person, and now I'm very mad. Because I would much rather be playing this game in third person.
There's a way to switch it.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know that until I'm watching this gameplay right now.
Oh, okay. You cut out there, so I didn't hear that. Yeah, I don't know. I think the game just hitting early access, I think there's a lot of room for Obsidian to fix that, like, saving issue, and with it being a survival game and them being under the same umbrella as Mojang, I think they could easily just create like a Realms-like thing where the host doesn't have to be on for everyone to enjoy the world or whatever.
Yeah, I really hope they do that, because, like, I would be more inclined to play solo if it was like that, where if I was bored sitting at home, I could, like, help, whether we're trying to build, something that we need a lot of resources for or whatever it is, start gathering that. But yeah, I'm excited to keep playing. I don't know how long I'll play, but we'll see.
Cool.
John, what else have you been playing?
I've really gotten back into Pokemon Go. Go Fest was over this last weekend, and it was really fun. This was my first experience with Go Fest since I live in Iowa, and there's never anything here. But I had a good time playing. It was just $15 to buy a ticket. The first day, they had this rotation of, like, types of Pokemon that would spawn a lot. So you could just use an incense that would last the whole hour and just grab tons and tons of these Pokemon. So that really filled out my Pokédex and everything. And then the second day was interesting because they went a different route with it. It was less about catching Pokemon and more about battling Team Rocket, or I guess Team Go Rocket, or Team Rocket Go, whatever they call it in the game.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was a really weird decision for me because it was just battling the leaders of Team Rocket, which you do pretty much
at any
the
time
rest of the year anyway. I mean, it was cool because after you defeated each of them, you got to capture the shadow version of the legendary birds. So that was cool. But, like, there's already been so many opportunities to catch those bird Pokemon and then also to fight those guys. So it didn't really feel special to me at all. I had a good time still, but it was just a very odd decision to me. I would have much rather had it been like just the second day be like a bunch of different Pokemon that didn't show up in the first day were able to be caught and everything. And hey, if you want to fight the Team Rocket guys, here you go.
Yeah, I had a very
regardless though.
I had a very different experience with GoFest. So I was busy like all day Saturday. It was my dad's birthday, so I was busy. I was going there to celebrate, and I couldn't really play. And so I missed out on catching a bunch of those Pokemon throughout the day, like those 3 hours where it switched between the three types. So luckily they reran those 3 hours at the end of the day again. So I was able to catch, you have to catch like, I think it was 20 fire, 20 water, and 20 grass or something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that.
So I was able to do it at the end of the day, finish those ones and the rest, which I kind of lucked out on. But yeah, I agree, because the second day was the only day I could actually go out and play with people. So like I met up with a friend. We went to like a pretty popular area for playing Pokemon Go and kind of walked around and played. And I was expecting more of the same, or, you know, I knew it was going to be different both days, but I was expecting a similar thing where you're catching Pokemon, and I was not a fan of having to defeat Team Rocket over and over again. At the very least, what I think they should have done is had more variety in the raids that were popping up. Because
absolutely
all the raids I saw popping up, because we did like maybe 10 to 15 raids, and there were maybe 3 or 4 different Pokemon between them.
Yeah.
So I think that they really could have diversified that.
I only have one gym by me. I didn't actually like go out and walk or anything, but I have one gym by me, and yeah, it was the same 3 or 4 Pokemon every time popping up for me as well. So yeah, and that was really disappointing.
Yeah, for an event that's supposed to celebrate the game and what it is and what it has been for the past 4 years, I really think that they could have, you know, diversified the, you know, like I'm not even saying they need to put like better like legendary Pokemon in those raids. They just need to like, I think
a bigger variety of Pokemon.
Exactly.
It was the same thing over and over again. So you've actually, because you live in Chicago, you've actually been to GoFest, like the in-person thing. Do they do a lot of the same thing?
So no, this Pokemon GoFest was much easier than any of the. So this is the 4th GoFest. I went to the first 2, and then I missed the 3rd one, and then I went to this one. I did this one as well, but the first 2 I went to was much more difficult to complete. The first year being, the internet.
That was also where they had all the internet,
Yeah, the first year is because, like, all the cell service was out. So that's a problem in itself. But the second year, cell service was more or less working the whole time. The problem is that, like, GoFest, it was literally like a mile and a half walk to get from one end to the other. And some of the Pokemon you had to catch would spawn at the other end of the park, depending on what entrance you came in. And then, like, you would go all the way there to catch it, and then you'd have to walk all the way back to get another one.
So a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, and, like, I remember at the end of the day, I had walked, like, 14 miles to catch all the Pokemon. And I remember they had raids, but it was nothing, you know, fancy. Like, there were definitely more variety in terms of the raids that were happening. But I think that they tried to hold the raids off until after the event and spread it, you know, through the city if you had a GoFest pass, because
that makes sense.
Because they didn't want everybody connecting to the same raid at the same time.
Yeah,
if that makes sense, because it would crash the game.
The load on it.
Yeah, they didn't want to crash the game. So, yeah, actually, now that I think about it, maybe there were no raids at the fest, and they all just happened outside of like the park.
I think I do remember seeing something like that, and like it being Mewtwo or something.
Yeah,
more opportunities for that.
But this year's Go Fest was far easier. Like I said, catching 20 Pokemon of each type.
Everything was very easy
when it's all that spawning. Yeah, I don't know.
Even battling the rocket leaders, like, they were much easier than when you fight them in the wild.
I agree, because I had never beaten them before. I think I've only beaten one of them before, because
I'd beaten them a couple times, but there was one, I think her name is Sierra. She always gives me a hard time, and I just wipe the floor with her.
Same with like Giovanni. He's supposed to be the hardest one to beat, and he was super easy.
Yeah, really easy. I mean, whatever. I got a Suicune out of it. That's cool, but yeah, there was no challenge to it.
But that Shadow Mewtwo, though, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's my third or fourth Mewtwo.
I still don't have the armored Mewtwo.
I got him. I was lucky enough to capture him. Yeah, I don't know. GoFest was really cool, and this being their first year doing it everywhere, I really hope that they bring it back next year, but they do tweak it a little bit. Like, I'm completely fine with them doing the secluded events, like in Chicago. I think they did one in San Diego too. Like, that's cool. But I do really like the idea of having this global event so that everyone can play it.
Yeah.
And I think it just needs tweaked. It wasn't bad by any means, but it could definitely use some improvements.
Yeah, going forward, I definitely see them doing the secluded events again. I don't know if that'll happen next year or the year after with COVID, but I definitely see them doing the secluded event still, and then a separate weekend doing like a worldwide thing like they did this weekend, because they probably made so much fucking money.
Oh yeah,
because like
no kidding.
Because like I know people that were playing it that like have never spent any money on the game, but they wanted to be in the event. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And $15 really is nothing. Like I feel like I got my $15 worth. Just playing.
I was playing for hours.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it was definitely worth the money for me.
But yeah, GoFest is cool. I'm excited to see what the future of that game brings, because there's still a lot of Pokemon that are not in the game.
Yeah.
So moving on, the other game I've been playing is Ring Fit Adventure. So me and John joined this group where we were all talking about how we started playing Ring Fit. John dropped out for various reasons, but if you want to watch that video, you can check out Respawn Aim Fire's YouTube channel. But we pretty much just started kind of a mini podcast, I guess, just talking about our experience with Ring Fit Adventure, and I am loving the game. I was looking for one for the past few months, and they've just been hard to find because of COVID and everybody not wanting to go to the gyms, and this being like an at-home alternative to working out. And I finally found one, and I picked it up. And I know for a fact on this podcast that I hated this game when it was announced. I know for a fact that I hated it.
I know, because I remember it.
Because it looked so
Because I was talking about how it was cool and everything, and I was talking it up, and you're like, no, it's so dumb.
It looks so dumb. It really does. Like, it doesn't look like it'd be a workout. Like, it looks like a kid's game.
It's a very good workout.
But like the one thing I said on this podcast is like, it doesn't look serious, but if you saw me playing this game in my living room, you'd think it was very serious, because I'm just like panting, sweating, like it is intense. But yeah, so like this past month I did a diet bet, which is an app where you pay whatever the buy-in is on whatever game you're playing, and you have to lose like 4% of your body weight. And I actually ended up losing like 13.5 pounds. And I think a lot of it is because I was playing Ring Fit almost every day. So I've just been loving the game. I'm going to keep playing it. I think I'm going to tone it down to like every other day though. But we'll see. Like it's fun. Like I play for like 45 minutes during my lunch break. 'Cause I work remote now because of COVID. So yeah, I think I'm just going to keep playing during lunch and kind of see where it takes me. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. Yeah,
I've been playing it again since we were getting ready to do the podcast with our friends at Respawn Aim Fire. Unfortunately, I had to drop out, but yeah, it's still a great workout. I have, especially during COVID, I haven't been doing any exercise, so I've been picking it up a bit lately, and it's oh boy, am I out of shape. But it's a very good workout. It does its best to make working out fun. It Whether that is actually fun or not is up for debate, but there's definitely worse ways to get your workout in. Let's just say that. I think it's very solid. The technology in the Joy-Cons works. The ring itself works. And that's really all I want out of it. So I'd say it's a big success for Nintendo.
Yeah, it's definitely impressive with what they've done with this game in terms of getting the Joy-Con to work with this. I don't even know. I would love to see a teardown of this the ring itself, just to kind of see how it works. But I don't know. I know nothing about technology.
It is interesting because you would think it's just plastic, but it has to actually register you pushing and pulling it.
Yeah, exactly. So
So there's something in there.
Yeah, there's something going on there because it can tell how much you're pushing too, or how much you're pulling, because it directly reflects that on screen when you're looking at your guy push the thing in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been enjoying it a lot. Been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Anything else you've been playing?
Nope. I mean, you can mention Ghost of Tsushima if you want, but I haven't been playing it.
Yeah, so I got Ghost of Tsushima. I've been playing it. It's fun. I don't know. I enjoy it. It's basically what everybody's been saying, and I completely agree with this. It's basically a samurai Assassin's Creed game. And it's crazy to think that we're going to get essentially a samurai Assassin's Creed game and a Viking Assassin's Creed game within a few months of each other.
Right.
But this game looks beautiful on my PS4 Pro, on my 4K TV. I love the look of it. It's just, in Assassin's Creed, there can be some missions that kind of have humor to them and stuff. This game, from what I've played maybe 10 hours. It's just 100% serious all the way through. So I haven't really played as much as I wanted, just because of how serious of a game it is. I don't know. I like games that can be funny and serious at the same time, but a game like this where it's just 100% serious. That's why I think that's why Last of Us Part 2 was kind of hard to get through, just because that game is extremely serious. Oh
my gosh, yes.
That's what,
to the point where it starts feeling like a slog.
Yeah, exactly. And Ghost of Tsushima isn't that extreme in terms of how serious it is, but it definitely at times feels dry because of how serious it is. And honestly, that's kind of because of how much they're going into the way of the samurai and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, and that's just kind of how the culture is and was, back then. But yeah, I've been loving the game. The game's beautiful. Yeah, and I think I've only done one main quest since I started playing. I've just kind of been going off and just doing random quests that I run across. So, but yeah, overall enjoying the game. I'm sure I'll talk about it more in the coming weeks here, once I get more and more into it. But yeah, it's a great game so far.
All right, cool.
John, it's time for some news.
Let's get into the news. News.
What do we got? Take the first one.
Okay, so a bunch of leaks came out of Nintendo source code from really older Nintendo properties. Super Mario 64, some Zelda games, Pokemon, a bunch of stuff that had never been seen before just leaked out onto the internet somehow. And it's just, I don't really want to go into the how or how or why all this is real and everything. I just kind of want to look at the stuff that we've seen now, because there's some really interesting stuff in here. For example, in Super Mario World, there's actually a sprite of Luigi giving the player the middle finger.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means something else in Japan. It probably does. So that was obviously cut for reasons. We've also seen a bunch of different prototype Yoshis, one with a cane and a beard and really big eyebrows. There's also one where he's really skinny and everything. You can definitely tell the process of how they were developing and making him. One of the things that's most interesting to me, being such a huge fan of Super Mario 64, is they finally someone finally found and put together the polygonal assets for Luigi, because they were originally going to make Super Mario 64 a multiplayer game, but for various reasons they cut it and everything. And people have been trying for years and years to like find Luigi in the game. Well, he's not actually in the game, but he's definitely in the source code. And then there was also a bunch of stuff for like Zelda, seeing like Link like completely polygonal holding the sword and shield. Man, there's just so much stuff in here. Some really cool stuff, especially if you're a longtime Nintendo fan. Definitely check it out. You can pretty much find it anywhere at the moment.
Yeah, it's crazy that people find this stuff.
Right?
Like, it really is insane.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling through some of these pictures that people tweeted on this article.
Especially since it's like just so much at one time that was found.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
God, this just keeps going.
Yeah, like the Nintendo fanboy in me, like every time I look at this stuff, I'm like freaking out because it's just so cool seeing all of it. Especially the like Super Mario 64 stuff, because there's just a lot there.
Original quality SM64 cartridge art. That is fucking cool.
Right?
Like, it makes no sense why I think it's so cool, but it's cool.
Yeah, it's like literally just the image that's on the cartridge. But for whatever reason, that cannot be found anywhere else.
But it's high quality now.
Yeah, we've got the whole like thing. Oh, and there was also uncompressed files for like voice lines for like Star Fox on the Super Nintendo, so like they could hear like the characters, or maybe it wasn't Super Nintendo, for Nintendo 64, they could actually hear the like voice actors and like what they were saying, but it wasn't like all jumbled or anything.
Okay. And
yeah. So cool.
What are they saying? Do you know? Do you remember? No.
It's just whatever the characters, their voice lines. Like
okay.
It's just that. But you know how when they say it, it's like kind of like gargly and it's very compressed. Like it's just really just the voice actors saying what they were saying. Like it's really cool stuff.
Okay, yeah, this is really interesting.
Yeah, definitely check it out if you're interested.
I guess also going into some other weird gaming news. This article comes from Luke Plunkett at Kotaku. The title says, Metal Gear Solid 5 players finally destroyed every nuke in the PS3 version, triggering a secret cutscene. When Metal Gear Solid 5 was released, tucked away in the code was a cutscene designed to only play once every nuke in the game had been found and destroyed. Earlier today, almost 5 years later, that cutscene was triggered for anyone left playing on PlayStation 3. This achievement was once thought almost impossible since it relied on players who could build nukes whenever they wanted, banding together to get the number down faster than it could be raised by more being built or hacked into the game. As the Metal Gear Solid 5 Nuke Watcher shows, on PC there are still over 19,000 nukes in play, while on PS4 there are around 2,500. But the PS3's player base has dropped to a point where a serious run could be made at this. As the video above shows, it was definitely timestamped July 27th. At time of posting, the Nuke Watcher was the PS3's tally, sitting at around 40. Presumably having been built after the number reached 0 earlier in the day. So, yeah, this is something that's very interesting.
So I guess I just don't understand this. Like, is there like a multiplayer component of Metal Gear Solid 5 where you just go out and destroy nukes?
That's
I've never played the game. So
I don't understand really, because I never played the game. But the way I
always thought it was just a single player game.
Yeah, but the way I think it worked is that maybe everybody's game is kind of linked up to like PSN essentially. Mm-hmm. And so like PSN can tell like how many nukes are in people's I don't know. But no, was there a multiplayer?
If you played Metal Gear Solid and you're listening to this, hit us up on Twitter and let us know how that works.
Yeah, because this article doesn't really explain that. It just kind of says that it happened. But the fact that there are still 19,000 nukes on PC and 2,500 on PS4, it's pretty crazy that the PS3 fan base got it down to 0.
Yeah, that's a lot of dedication.
It's a lot of dedication. Like, granted, if you were gonna show me these 3 consoles and say which one's gonna get to 0 first, I would say PS3.
Yeah,
just because
the last gen version.
Yeah, because less people are probably playing
on.
But you know that there was like a dedicated group of like 5 guys that were like, all right, we're fucking doing this.
Yeah, they spent months not even looking at their PS4.
They probably didn't even have PS4s.
Right.
But yeah, definitely cool, weird, interesting, I guess all at the same time. But that's where we're at with news this week, is where we're bringing up shit like this.
Right, yeah, it's not much going on. But one kind of interesting tidbit of news is that Moon Studios has signed a publishing deal with Private Division. So Private Division are the guys that published The Outer Worlds, the Obsidian game that came out last year. Personally, one of my favorite games of the year. And Moon Studios are the guys that make Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisp. They are not owned by Xbox. They just made a publishing deal with them, and Microsoft owns Ori. But Moon Studios took to Twitter today and said, "We're happy to announce that Private Division will publish the next game for Moon Game Studios. And it's going to be an action RPG that we hope will set new standards." So it looks like they're going to be doing a lot more of what they've already done with Ori. And that's really exciting. Definitely not big news or anything, but definitely exciting for one of the more interesting development companies out of there, considering that they are purely a remote development company. Like, they don't have a central location. They just have people from around the world just doing remote work on it, even before COVID. Like, that's interesting to me.
There's a lot to this, because another interesting thing is they already have a relationship with Microsoft. So you have to imagine that they've talked about whatever this next game is with Microsoft, and for whatever reason, either whether it's Microsoft didn't want to pay them the money they wanted, or they just weren't interested, they took it elsewhere.
Especially considering how well Ori has been received, both of the games, you have to figure that Microsoft were interested in this. Part of me, because Moon Studios has been very out front about wanting to remain an independent company.
Yeah, that's probably it.
And I think, I don't know for sure, but speculation would say that this is them trying to distance themselves from a giant company like Microsoft. That's not saying it's bad or anything, like their relationship went sour or anything, because I think that it hasn't. Like, you see how much love they give each other. I think it's just purely them trying to go out and make a name for themselves.
Yeah, and I mean, that makes sense, because when everybody thinks of the studio, they think, oh, Ori and the Blind Forest, Ori and the Will of the Wisp.
Yeah.
And then they just immediately associate it with, that's a Microsoft company, but in reality, they're not. And even, like, it can't be because they wanted the game to go multi-platform, because as we know, Cuphead just came to PS4 this week, and it's already been on Switch.
And the first Ori game's already on Switch.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's not the reason. It's definitely, like you said, I think it's just them trying to distance themselves from, Microsoft, so that they can, show everybody how independent they actually are.
Yeah. We are big believers in Moon Studios, and I'm definitely excited to see what they have coming. Oh, also a really quick shout out, if you did not know, the one of the composers for Halo Infinite is Gareth Coker, the guy that made the music for both Ori games. So just a little interesting tidbit there. Very excited to hear what he has coming up for that.
Yeah, we'll save Halo talk for another day, because that'll...
Okay, fine.
Another time, John.
All right.
Yeah, that does it. So let's get into our quick news. First up, we have that Hawkeye is the first post-launch character for the Avengers game being made by Square Enix.
So Crystal Dynamics held their second Marvel Avengers War Table today. The first one really went into the story and gave us a lot of details on the game, because there was a lot that we still didn't know. Now that we know quite a bit more, today was more focused on the upcoming beta, which is next week, which I'm so excited to play. I personally didn't get to watch the War Table yet, but from what I've been seeing, a lot of cool stuff is in it. Of course, they announced that Hawkeye is coming post-launch, and all of the new heroes and missions that are coming will be free updates and everything. So anyone that's been worried about playing Hawkeye, don't worry, you'll get him for free. You can also fight Abomination in the beta next week, I saw, and also a fight with Taskmaster. So some definitely interesting stuff. I'm just so excited to finally get my hands on the game. This is still one of my most anticipated games of the year.
Yeah, I'm excited to try out the beta too, because this is a game that like I'm not very interested in. Like, it does not look fun to me, like watching all the videos and stuff. So I'm interested to try it out and see what I think. And the fact that they are having a beta makes me think that it probably is a lot of fun. Because if it wasn't fun, then...
Well, we're also a month away from its release. It releases on like September 4th.
Okay. Yeah.
So we are getting very close here.
Yeah, and it's also interesting because there's a character that somebody told me about that has not been announced yet. And I don't know if that's true now. Because they keep announcing all these other characters.
Joel knows a rumor?
You know it too.
A leak?
You know it too. You just don't remember.
Do I?
Yeah, you probably just don't remember.
I don't know.
I know you know it, but once I bring it up. But yeah.
Gotcha.
That's cool. Cool to see.
One thing I want to bring up with you real quick, because I was writing an article about this about a month ago, and I could have swore that I saw that they announced Guardians of the Galaxy in the game. Did I imagine that?
I don't think they did.
Okay, so I'm thinking I might have gotten it confused with Ultimate Alliance 3 at some point.
Probably.
Like my memory or something. But I was going insane for a while. I'm like, I fucking remember the Guardians of the Galaxy somewhere. Okay, never mind. Continue.
Next piece of quick news. Phil Spencer says Series X backwards compatibility news is coming in August. What do you think this means?
I think, like a lot of other people are saying, that this really hints at another Xbox event coming in August. They've been saying that they were going to do Series X news every month. They just skipped June because who knows. And then July we had the event that we really liked. August, I think, would be a really good time for them to finally announce the price. Like Phil Spencer says, we'll get some backwards compatibility news, like maybe more titles, because he has said in the past that they're going to try and bring back more titles that just aren't on the Xbox One yet. And then maybe we'll also get some other news, like maybe the actual original Xbox disc will work in it or something. Who knows what the news actually is, but him just saying that there's more stuff coming in August really makes me think that there's going to be a bigger event here. Maybe they finally announced Lockhart. Maybe who knows? Like, there's a lot of stuff up in the air about it. But that's kind of all the fun about a new console generation.
If original Xbox discs work in the new Series X, that's going to be insane.
Right?
Like, it's going to be really cool.
I always wonder why it doesn't, because 360 discs work in the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Why don't original Xbox discs?
Yeah, I don't know. The thing I don't get is, like, what is the legality of doing that? Like, I'm sure that they could do it if they wanted to, and if it made sense financially. But what is the legality of, like, say some random company made a game 20 years ago, and Xbox comes out with the next gen, and they're like, okay, yeah, you could play that game that was made 20 years ago on your new Xbox if you have the disc.
Mm-hmm. See, yeah, because
technically you own it.
They would already own the game.
Yeah.
So they've already gotten the money for it. All Xbox would have to do, I would think, obviously I don't know for sure, I would think all Xbox would have to do is just sell the game digitally on the store. But first they have to get the okay to sell it again.
Yeah.
So,
but in terms of like physical discs though, even, like, how does that work? Because, like, you're gonna have to buy all those games off eBay essentially nowadays, or disc replay or something like that.
But the point, it would kind of be like buying a used game from a store, I would think, where, yeah, companies don't like that they're not getting the money for the used game sales and everything, but there's really no way around that.
Yeah.
They got the money for the original new game sale. Obviously, that's like 20 years ago now, but I don't know. But like, a really weird line.
Because it's also weird because, like, when the company A designed a game specifically for the original Xbox, they didn't design it for, you know, Xbox One, Xbox 360, any of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm wondering, like, could they sue like Microsoft and say, well, we didn't make it for this, and you didn't make it available digitally, so we can't make any money off of it anymore. But now people are buying
I think that's
it.
really the thing here, is that Microsoft is getting the permission before they put them available there.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if they just put the disk drive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean,
they can't filter out games
if
if
just the disk drive.
It.
I mean, that's Microsoft's technology, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's so confusing. Yeah. It's like way.
This is a lot of confusing stuff. There's a lot of gray area there.
Yeah. But yeah, it's cool. I'm excited to see whatever a next Xbox event brings in August. Yeah. I hope it's not.
Talking about gray area, though.
Hope it's not the end of
Cuphead
the month.
is now on PS4.
Except for the image I have up is very not gray.
Oh.
But yeah.
Regardless,
it just stealth dropped on PS4
we love it.
Yesterday.
It's so good.
Yeah, I still haven't beaten it. It frustrates the shit out of me.
Oh,
like, it's one of those games. I love the art style. I have it on vinyl.
I love it.
Like, GameStop ran
such a good soundtrack too.
Dude, GameStop ran a promotion on like a Black Friday a few years ago where if you bought the game digitally in store, they just gave you the vinyl for free of like, I think it has 2 songs on it, one on each side. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. And that's when I bought the game. Just because I knew I loved the style and the soundtrack. I just had never played it. But yeah, it frustrates me, so I can't play too much of it.
I love that game so much. I probably won't. I don't know. I don't play on my PS4 enough to buy it there. I already bought it on Switch and Xbox.
Yeah, we actually gave it away one time on Switch, I think.
We did give it away on Switch. Also, there's kind of some rumors saying that we're very close to the DLC finally coming out.
I feel like we should have seen that at the Xbox event, but we didn't. For some reason.
Do too, but who knows?
Yeah, also, how big of a fuck you would it be if they announced that Cuphead was coming to PS4 at the Xbox event last week? That would have been hilarious.
Oh, if Microsoft just was like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, you can play it on PS4.
Yeah,
because they're like so cool. Like when they showed the Nintendo Switch during the E3 for Minecraft.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, yeah,
that would have been pretty funny. But yeah, it's still cool seeing Xbox do all this crazy shit. Like, not in a million years. Like, if you asked me a year ago if I thought any Xbox exclusive would go to PS4, I'd be like, not happening. But Cuphead is breaking the barriers, I guess.
Phil Spencer has been very upfront about everyone playing his games and everything. So, I mean, it's just another situation of that, I think.
Yeah. Cool. Moving on. Ghost of Tsushima sold 2.4 million units in 3 days. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't think... Because Last of Us Part 2 has the record for fastest selling PS4 or Sony exclusive.
Yeah.
Now, where does this put Ghost of Tsushima?
Good question. I'm going to Google it.
Because I don't think it beat Last of Us. It might be in the like second or third range because Spider-Man had it for a couple years there. And then Last of Us, I think Last of Us just blew it out of the water, which
I think
most people would think.
Are you saying like in the first few days or?
Whatever you can find.
Okay, so top 5 selling PS4 exclusive in the US are Spider-Man, God of War, Horizon, Last of Us Part 2, and Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Okay, but that's just the United States. I remember seeing something, maybe it was Europe, that Last of Us 2 like blew everything else out of the water for Sony exclusives.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Regardless, great news for Sony. They're keeping on. So good for them.
Sorry, my girlfriend I think gave my puppy a bath, and she's going crazy.
Oh.
Is that what happened?
Oh, all right. Yeah. Personally, man, I want to play Ghost of Tsushima. I have it downloaded, but I don't know. Everything else is distracting me from it at the moment.
Yeah, understandable. There's a lot going on right now. This fucking dog, man. Moving on to the topic of the show. It was announced, I guess, the other day, last week, that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is going to release in April of 2022. So this conversation could lead to spoilers for the Sonic the Hedgehog the movie that came out this past year.
If you haven't seen it, leave a like on our Twitter, follow us, and comment and tell us how much you love us.
And then go watch Sonic the Hedgehog because it's
and
a
then
great
watch
movie.
Sonic the Hedgehog because it's a brilliant movie.
So what do you want from it, the sequel, John?
All right. So you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
The first one? Okay. So we already know that Tails appears at the end of the first Sonic movie. And he comes out and he's like, oh, I found him or whatever. And he's going to meet Sonic. So we know it's going to be Sonic and Tails and everything.
Yep.
I want this movie... Man, what do I want? So somehow Dr. Robotnik has to come back to Earth because he's stuck in the mushroom area. I can't remember the name of it. Just the mushroom planet.
Yeah.
Somehow he's going to come back. He's going to look more like traditional Robotnik with the big mustache, and he's bald and everything. Maybe Jim Carrey will put on a little weight for it or something. He's going to look very traditional Robotnik, Eggman, whatever you want to say. I want to see Knuckles in the game since we got a hint at the echidnas in the first movie when Sonic was little in the Green Hill Zone. I want them to find a way to get back in the Green Hill Zone because that is just too iconic of a location for them to just like have a small reference to.
Yeah, it was like a 3-minute clip, wasn't it, in the first movie?
Not even that, I don't think, because it was him running. He finds the owl. The echidnas found him, and they were trying to capture him. The owl gets him and sends him to Earth. I really liked the stuff on Earth, but I want them to get away from Earth. I want them to get more towards a traditional Sonic thing. I want them to go back to the original world. Maybe Tails is coming out and saying, Sonic, I need your help. Come with me. Leave whatever the town is that they were in.
I don't even remember. I know it was like the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah, it was a reference to a Sonic game. It might have been like Emerald Hill.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or something like that.
But yeah, I agree. I definitely want to see Knuckles in the game. I think, or movie. I think that'd be really cool. I'm just excited for whatever it is, to be honest.
Me too.
Like that.
Like especially with Ben Schwartz coming back for it because he was the first person I saw to announce it. That guy, he loves this project so much, and I'm so excited that the movie like received as much praise as it did, considering that the previews and everything made it look bad.
Yeah, I really hope that Jim Carrey comes back.
Me too.
Because I think that would hurt it a lot if they switched actors or something.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that Jeff Fowler, I think that's his name for the director. I think he's coming back, and we know Ben Schwartz is coming back for Sonic. I don't know who voiced Tails in the first one, but you could pretty much get anybody to do that. Yeah.
But
so you don't really need a known voice for that.
That reveal at the end of the first one of Tails was just amazing.
Oh,
I remember
I was so excited.
I remember I was in the theaters with my girlfriend and Tails came on the screen and I was like, "Oh my god." And she's like, doesn't even understand. Like it means that cuz she's not a gamer, she's never played Sonic, so it doesn't even click with her. It doesn't even matter to her who that is or anything, but for me, I'm just nerding out.
I was hoping the entire movie to see him. I'm like, oh, come on. Just, like, even, like, a little reference, like, maybe, like, a ring comes up and you see him fly by in the background. Like, that, I would have been fine with that. But for him to come in the end-credit scene, it got me so excited.
Yeah.
I'm very pumped for this movie that's 2 years away.
Yeah, but yeah, I definitely agree. I hope that they go away from Earth, at least for, like, part of the, like, a large portion of the movie. Just to kind of get like that
I'm fine with them
fantasy-ish.
like starting in the opening, like taking place like right at the end of the first one, where Tails just finds Sonic and they're like, "Oh, you gotta help us," and maybe Sonic is like, maybe he's not too keen on the idea or something. He's like, "No, this is my home now," and everything. But he like, the sheriff guy talks him out of it or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it would definitely be nice to see them like expand the Sonic universe to, you know, people who maybe have just seen the movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
I think don't go beyond introducing Tails and Knuckles, though, because there's a lot of characters there. Some characters are good in there, but
they're like Shadow.
Shadow and everything. I think it's way too early to introduce characters like that. I think you stick this to Tails and Knuckles joining Sonic. It maybe just Tails, but I really would like to see Knuckles.
Yeah, I feel like
just have the three of them going after Robotnik.
I feel like they really have to spoon feed like the lore of Sonic to the movies, because if they, like you said, if they throw all these characters in, people who are watching the movie are gonna be like, I don't know any of this. Like, why? Like, I don't care about these people. I don't know who they are. That's why I think it was great that they just showed Tails at the very end there. That way, it's like people who haven't
just showing
played the
that
games,
there is like a bigger world, and the references to the echidnas that someone that hasn't played Sonic, like, they don't know who they are at the beginning there, but me, like, being such a Sonic fan throughout my life, I'm like, oh yes, like, they're there and everything. It's the echidna tribe going after him. Like, that's really cool, and I hope we get more of that.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that brings us to an end of episode 105 of the Pixel Street Podcast. As always, follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street Pod. We do giveaways. We post all of our podcasts on there. We usually retweet John's writing, YouTube videos, streams, all that stuff. So yeah, be sure to follow us on Twitter. That's probably the best place. You can also find us on Facebook by searching for Pixel Street Podcast there. Listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere you can find a podcast, really. My name is Joel Campos. You can find me on Twitter at Campos63, or on Twitch, twitch.tv/Campos63. John, where are you on them interwebs?
On Twitter, I'm at RevXShadows. Like I said earlier, you can check out my Destroy All Humans review and also my other writing. I on Twitch, on twitch.tv/RevXShadows. Haven't done too much streaming there yet, but planning on fixing that here pretty soon.
All right. We will see you right here next week for episode 106 of the Pixel Street Podcast.
Bye.